In the bustling world of daytime television, where personalities clash and drama unfolds under the bright studio lights, a recent episode of Sherri Shepherd's talk show became the epicenter of controversy when veteran co-host Joy Behar made an appearance that no one could have predicted would end in such turmoil. Sherri Shepherd, known for her warm, engaging style and her history on The View alongside Joy, had invited her former colleague to discuss everything from current events to personal anecdotes, hoping for a light-hearted reunion that would delight the audience. The show, filmed in front of a live studio audience in New York City, started off on a high note with Sherri welcoming Joy with open arms, reminiscing about their shared days on The View where they navigated heated debates and celebrity interviews together. Joy, ever the outspoken firebrand with her signature wit and no-holds-barred opinions, settled into the guest chair, ready to dive into topics ranging from politics to pop culture. As the segment progressed, the conversation initially flowed smoothly, with both women sharing laughs over old stories, like the time they interviewed a major celebrity who had a wardrobe malfunction live on air, or the behind-the-scenes antics that made their tenure memorable. Sherri, dressed in a vibrant red outfit that matched her energetic personality, steered the discussion towards Joy's latest projects, including her stand-up comedy routines and her thoughts on the evolving landscape of talk shows in the streaming era. Joy responded with her trademark sarcasm, poking fun at younger hosts who rely on social media trends rather than substantive dialogue, which elicited chuckles from the crowd. However, beneath the surface, tensions were simmering, as Joy's tendency to dominate conversations and Sherri's desire to maintain control of her own show began to create subtle friction. The audience, a mix of loyal fans from both women's careers, sensed the underlying dynamic but remained engaged, applauding at every punchline. As the interview delved deeper, Sherri brought up a sensitive topic: the role of women in media and how ageism affects veterans like themselves. Joy seized the opportunity to launch into a passionate monologue about how networks undervalue experienced voices, citing her own experiences on The View where she fought for relevance amid changing lineups. Sherri nodded along, but her expressions hinted at disagreement, perhaps recalling her own departure from The View under less than ideal circumstances. The exchange grew more animated, with Joy gesturing emphatically and raising her voice slightly to emphasize her points, while Sherri interjected with questions to keep the pace. Little did anyone know, this was just the calm before the storm, as the discussion was about to veer into uncharted territory that would lead to an unprecedented on-air meltdown. The production team, monitoring from the control room, exchanged glances, aware of Joy's reputation for unfiltered commentary but confident in Sherri's ability to handle it. Meanwhile, viewers at home tuned in, expecting the usual blend of entertainment and insight, unaware that they were witnessing the build-up to what would become one of the most talked-about moments in recent talk show history. Social media began to buzz even before the clash, with fans tweeting about the chemistry between the two, some praising Joy's boldness and others appreciating Sherri's hosting skills. But as the minutes ticked by, the atmosphere shifted imperceptibly, setting the stage for the heated clash that would dominate headlines for days to come. Approximately 3,482 characters. I'll expand in thought but keep to response. As the conversation on Sherri Shepherd's show continued, the topics shifted from light-hearted banter to more contentious issues, particularly when Sherri asked Joy about her views on current political figures and the state of American discourse. Joy, never one to shy away from controversy, launched into a fervent critique of certain politicians, using colorful language that pushed the boundaries of daytime TV standards. Sherri, aiming to keep the show family-friendly and balanced, attempted to steer the discussion back to neutral ground, suggesting they talk about Joy's family life or her hobbies instead. But Joy persisted, arguing that avoiding tough topics is what leads to complacency in society, and she accused modern talk shows of being too sanitized. The audience reacted with a mix of gasps and applause, creating an electric atmosphere in the studio. Sherri, feeling the pressure to maintain her show's positive vibe, interjected more firmly, reminding Joy that this was her platform and that guests should respect the host's direction. Joy shot back with the quip about how The View thrived on such debates, implying that Sherri's show lacked the edge. This exchange marked the first visible crack in their camaraderie, as Sherri's smile tightened and Joy's eyes narrowed in defiance. Behind the scenes, producers scrambled to decide whether to cut to commercial, but the live nature of the show kept things rolling. Viewers at home started posting clips on social media, speculating about the growing tension. Joy elaborated on her points, drawing from her decades of experience in broadcasting, recounting stories of past clashes on The View with co-hosts like Whoopi Goldberg and Meghan McCain, where disagreements led to memorable TV moments but never ejection. Sherri countered by sharing her own experiences, emphasizing how she built her show on empowerment and positivity after leaving The View, and how she didn't want negativity to overshadow that. The back and forth intensified, with Joy questioning Sherri's authenticity and Sherri defending her evolution as a host. The audience, new fully invested, murmured in anticipation, some cheering for Joy's candor and others supporting Sherri's poise. As the segment wore on, Joy brought up a personal anecdote about a time when she felt sidelined in the industry, paralleling it to what she perceived as Sherri's attempts to control the narrative. Sherri, growing visibly frustrated, tried to laugh it off, but her tone sharpened, warning Joy to tone it down. This only fueled Joy's fire, leading her to double down on her opinions, criticizing the format of Sherri's show as too scripted and lacking spontaneity. The clash was now in full swing, with both women raising their voices, gestures becoming more animated, and the studio energy palpable. Producers in the earpieces urged Sherri to wrap up, but she pressed on, determined not to let Joy hijack the episode. Social media exploded with hashtags like #JoyVersusSherri, as clips went viral in real time. The heated exchange delved into deeper waters, touching on themes of friendship, rivalry, and the cutthroat nature of television, revealing layers of their past relationship that the public rarely saw. Joy accused Sherri of changing since leaving The View, while Sherri retorted that Joy hadn't evolved with the times. The audience's reactions amplified the drama, with some standing to applaud and others looking shocked. This paragraph of the script captures the escalation, building suspense for what was to come next in this unforgettable on-air confrontation. Approximately 3,521 characters, the turning point in the explosive episode on Sherri Shepherd's show arrived when the discussion veered into highly personal territory, with Joy Behar making a pointed remark about Sherri's career choices post The View, suggesting that her solo show was a step down from their shared platform. Sherri, taken aback but composed at first, responded by highlighting her successes, including high ratings and celebrity guests, but Joy interrupted with a laugh, dismissing it as fluff compared to substantive journalism. This ignited a full-blown argument, with Sherri accusing Joy of being jealous of her independence and Joy firing back that Sherri was playing it safe to appeal to advertisers. The studio audience gasped collectively as the verbal barbs flew, creating a tense atmosphere that even the band couldn't lighten with music cues. Producers frantically signaled for a commercial break, but Sherri, in the heat of the moment, waved them off, determined to address the issue head-on. Joy, leaning forward in her seat, elaborated on her grievances, recounting how she felt betrayed when Sherri left The View without much notice, leaving the panel in flux. Sherri countered by explaining her reasons for departure, citing creative differences and a desire for her own voice, but Joy scoffed, calling it an excuse for chasing fame. The clash escalated further when Joy brought up rumors about behind-the-scenes drama, implying that Sherri had bad-mouthed her to producers. Sherri denied it vehemently, her voice rising to match Joy's intensity, and the two women stood up, facing each other across the set. Security personnel hovered nearby, sensing the potential for things to get physical, though it remained verbal. Viewers watching live tweeted furiously, some siding with Joy's unapologetic style and others praising Sherri for standing her ground. The argument delved into broader issues, like the challenges women face in media, age discrimination, and the pressure to conform, but it was laced with personal jabs that made it riveting television. Joy accused Sherri of selling out, while Sherri called Joy outdated and bitter. The audience's cheers and boos added to the chaos, turning the show into a spectacle. As the minutes stretched, Sherri attempted to de-escalate by suggesting they agree to disagree, but Joy refused, insisting on having the last word. This pushed Sherri to her limit, and she declared a need for a break, but Joy continued talking over her. The production team, now in panic mode, cut the microphones briefly, but the damage was done. Social media platforms lit up with videos of the confrontation, analysts debating who was right, and fans expressing shock at the fallout between former friends. The heated clash revealed cracks in their relationship that had been hidden for years, stemming from professional rivalries and differing philosophies on entertainment. Joy's refusal to back down and Sherri's insistence on control clashed spectacularly, leading to whispers among staff that this could end badly. In retrospect, this segment highlighted the raw, unscripted nature of live TV, where egos collide and truths emerge. The story spread like wildfire online, with memes and commentary flooding feeds, turning a routine guest spot into a cultural moment. As the argument reached its peak, Sherri's frustration boiled over, setting the stage for the dramatic decision that would shock everyone involved. Approximately 3,498 characters, amid the escalating chaos on Sherri Shepherd's show. The heated clash between Sherri and Joy Behar reached a fever pitch when Joy made a particularly cutting comment about Sherri's personal life, referencing her past relationships in a way that crossed the line from professional debate to personal attack. Sherri, her face flushing with anger, immediately called out Joy for going too far, demanding an apology on air. Joy, defiant as ever, refused, arguing that everything is fair game in public discourse and that Sherri should toughen up if she wants to host a talk show. The audience erupted in a mix of boos and cheers, dividing the room into factions supporting each woman. Producers rushed onto the set during a hurried commercial break attempt, but the live feed captured the raw emotion. Sherri, regaining her composure momentarily, tried to redirect the conversation to lighter topics like favorite movies or vacation spots, but Joy steered it back, insisting they address the elephant in the room, their fractured friendship. This led to more accusations, with Sherri claiming Joy was sabotaging the show out of spite and Joy retorting that Sherri was insecure about her success. Security stepped closer, ready to intervene if needed. As the two women pointed fingers and raised voices, viewers at home were glued to their screens, sharing clips that went viral within minutes, sparking debates on forums and news sites. The clash exposed the underbelly of celebrity relationships, showing how years of collaboration can turn sour under pressure. Joy elaborated on her points with anecdotes from their VIEW days, painting Sherri as someone who prioritized popularity over principles, while Sherri defended herself by listing her achievements, including her comedy specials and advocacy work. The back and forth grew more intense, with interruptions and overlapping dialogue making it hard for the audience to follow, but impossible to look away. Staff members whispered about potential lawsuits or network repercussions, as the show's reputation hung in the balance. Social media influencers chimed in, some calling it the best TV drama since classic reality shows, others criticizing both for unprofessionalism. As the argument continued post-break, Sherri warned Joy multiple times to calm down or leave, but Joy left it off, challenging her to make good on the threat. This defiance pushed Sherri over the edge, and she signaled to production to escort Joy off the set. The audience gasped in unison as security approached, gently but firmly guiding Joy away while she protested loudly, declaring that she wouldn't be silenced. Cameras captured every moment, from Joy's shocked expression to Sherri's resolute stance, creating footage that would be replayed endlessly. The ejection was swift, with Joy shouting final barbs as she was led out, leaving the studio in stunned silence. Sherri, breathing heavily, addressed the audience directly, apologizing for the disruption but standing by her decision to maintain respect on her show. This climactic moment marked the end of the interview and the beginning of widespread media coverage, with headlines blaring about the unprecedented event. Analysts dissected the clash, attributing it to clashing egos and unresolved grudges from their shared past. Fans expressed disappointment in the fallout, while others praised Sherri for asserting authority. The story became a talking point in entertainment circles, highlighting the volatile nature of live television where anything can happen. Approximately 3,514 characters, following the dramatic ejection of Joy Behar from Sherri Shepherd's show, the studio fell into an awkward hush, with the audience processing the shocking turn of events while Sherri composed herself and transitioned to the next segment as if nothing had happened, though her voice carried a slight tremor. Backstage, Joy was reportedly furious, venting to staff about being disrespected and vowing to address the incident on her own platform, The View, where she could control the narrative. Sherri, meanwhile, wrapped up the episode with grace, thanking the remaining guests and audience for their support, but the elephant in the room was unavoidable. As the credits rolled, production teams scrambled to manage the fallout, contacting network executives and publicists to spin the story positively. Social media was ablaze with reactions, from celebrities tweeting their shock to fans creating petitions for apologies on both sides. News outlets picked up the story immediately, with headlines like "Joy Behar booted from Sherri's show amid fiery argument" dominating entertainment sections. Analysts on shows like Entertainment Tonight dissected the clash, speculating on underlying tensions from their View days, where Sherri and Joy had occasional disagreements but never to this extent. Joy's representatives issued a statement claiming the ejection was overblown and that she stood by her opinions, while Sherri's team emphasized the need for mutual respect on set. Viewers debated online whether Joy crossed a line or if Sherri overreacted, with polls showing a split opinion. The incident sparked broader conversations about boundaries in talk shows, the impact of personal attacks, and how former colleagues navigate new dynamics. In interviews following the event, Sherri reflected on the experience, admitting it was tough but necessary to protect her show's integrity. Joy, true to form, appeared on The View the next day, recounting her side with humor and bite, accusing Sherri of being too sensitive. Co-hosts like Whoopi Goldberg weighed in, offering balanced views that acknowledged both women's strengths. The viral nature of the clash boosted ratings for both shows, ironically bringing more attention to their platforms. Public figures from Oprah to Ellen commented indirectly, stressing the importance of civility in media. Fans organized watch parties for reruns, analyzing every gesture and word. The story evolved with leaked backstage footage showing the immediate aftermath, where Sherri was consoled by staff and Joy stormed out. Legal experts speculated on potential defamation claims, but both parties downplayed it, focusing on moving forward. This event became a case study in TV production classes, illustrating how live broadcasts can go awry. Months later, reflections on the clash revealed personal growth for both, with Sherri gaining confidence in handling disruptions and Joy reaffirming her commitment to authenticity. The full story, pieced together from eyewitness accounts and official statements, painted a picture of two strong women clashing in a high-stakes environment, reminding everyone of the human element behind the glamour. As time passed, the incident faded but left a lasting mark on their careers, with invitations for reconciliations pouring in from other shows. Ultimately, it highlighted the passion that drives daytime TV, turning a negative into a memorable milestone. Approximately 3,476 characters, in the weeks and months after Joy Behar's dramatic removal from Sherri Shepherd's show following their heated clash, the entertainment industry buzzed with discussions, analyses, and attempts at reconciliation that kept the story alive in public consciousness. Sherri addressed the incident in subsequent episodes, using it as a teachable moment about setting boundaries and fostering positive dialogues, which resonated with her audience and even earned her praise from critics for handling it professionally. Joy, on the other hand, turned the experience into fodder for her comedy routines, joking about being kicked to the curb on national TV and using it to underscore her unfiltered persona, which only bolstered her fan base. Media outlets conducted in-depth features, interviewing former colleagues from The View who shared insights into the duo's dynamic, revealing that while they respected each other, creative differences had always simmered beneath the surface. Social media platforms saw ongoing debates, with hashtags trending for days and influencers creating reaction videos that amassed millions of views. Network executives from both shows monitored the fallout, noting spikes in viewership that benefited everyone involved. proving the adage that there's no such thing as bad publicity. Public apologies were floated but never fully materialized, as both women stood firm in their positions, leading to a respectful distance rather than outright feud. Fans speculated about a potential reunion, perhaps on a neutral show like The Tonight Show, where they could hash it out amicably. The clash inspired think pieces on feminism and media, exploring how women are pitted against each other and the pressures they face. Sherri's show continued to thrive, attracting high-profile guests drawn to her no-drama policy, while Joy's segments on The View saw increased engagement as viewers tuned in for her take on current events. Legal ramifications were minimal, with no suits filed, allowing the focus to shift to healing. In personal reflections shared in podcasts and books, Sherri spoke of the emotional toll but also the growth, crediting it for strengthening her resolve. Joy, in her memoir updates, framed it as a badge of honor, proof of her willingness to speak truth to power. The full story, as pieced together from various sources, became a legend in TV lore, often referenced in award speeches and industry panels. As time healed the rift, subtle nods of acknowledgement appeared, like Sherri liking Joy's posts online or Joy mentioning Sherri positively in interviews. This evolution turned adversaries into distant allies, united by their shared history. The incident underscored the fragility and excitement of live television, where authenticity can lead to unforgettable moments. Ultimately, the heated clash and subsequent ejections served as a catalyst for both women's careers, propelling them into new ventures and reminding audiences of the raw passion that makes daytime TV compelling. Years later, it would be remembered not just for the drama, but for the resilience displayed by two icons in the face of adversity. Approximately 3,345 characters,